Hello everyone. Again, Pranav is here. Today, I am going to explain hydrogenator part 15. Let's start with relationship between physical dimension and electrical rating of the machine. All rotating electrical machines are operated by the interaction of the magnetic field set up in stator and rotor windings. So, the design of any rotating electrical machine is basically guided by the two important parameters. A, the specific magnetic loading, that is B average, and the specific electric loading, that is Q. Both the parameters are directly linked with output equation of the machine. Specific magnetic loading is the average radial flux density over the surface area of the armature. Specific electric loading, Q, is the average value of axial current per meter of the conductor over the circumference of the armature periphery. The main dimensions of the machine can be justified by the internal diameter d and gross length L of the stator. Power output equation has put up a relation between electrical rating and main dimensions of the machine, that is internal diameter and gross length of the stator. Power output equation of the three-phase synchronous generator. Output of the machine Q is equal to 3 V phase or I phase into 10 to the power minus 3 kVA. Assuming induced EMF per phase, E phase is equal to V phase, then Q is equal to 3 E phase I phase into 10 to the power minus 3 kVA. Now, E phase is equal to 4.44 F phi TPH kW is equal to 2.22 F phi ZPH kW. That is equation 2. Frequency of generated EMF F is equal to P into capital NS divided by 120 is equal to P by small ns divided by 2. Here, V phase is the phase voltage, I phase is the phase current, E phase is the induced EMF per phase, ZPS number of conductors per phase in stator, TPH number of turns per phase, capital NS synchronous speed in RPM, small ns synchronous speed in RPS, D is the diameter of the core, L is the length of the armature, capital P is the number of poles, Q is the specific electric loading, phi air gap flux per pole, B average, that is average flux density, Kw winding factor, C0 is the output coefficient. Now, air gap flux per pole phi is equal to B average pi dl by capital P, that is number of poles. Specific electric loading Q is equal to 3 I phase Z per phase divided by pi d, that is number of conductors per phase in stator ZPH. From equation 1, 2, 3, 4, output Q is equal to 3 into 2.22 P small ns divided by 2 into B average pi dl by P into ZPH into KW into IPH into 10 to the power minus 3 kVA. Then Q is equal to 1.11 B average pi dl into NS into KW into 3 I phase ZPH into 10 to the power minus 3 kVA. From equation 5, 3 IPH ZPH is equal to Q pi d. Then Q is equal to 1.11 pi square d square L B average Q kW ns into 10 to the power minus 3 kVA. Now 1.11 pi square is equal to 10.964, that is equivalent to 11. Therefore, output Q is equal to 11 BAV Q kW into 10 to the power minus 3 into d square L small ns kVA. That is equal to C0 d square L ns, where C0 is the output coefficient, which is equal to 11 B average Q kW into 10 to the power minus 3. From this output equation, we can conclude: 1. From the output equation of the machine, it is to be concluded that the volume of the machine is directly proportional to the output of the machine and inversely proportional to the speed of the machine. Number 2, so machines having higher speed will have the reduced size and cost. Number 3, to have the same output of the machine, the choice of higher value of specific magnetic loading B and specific electric loading Q leads to reduce the size as well as cost of the machine. Choice of higher value of specific magnetic loading. The specific magnetic loading can be determined by the underneath factors. 1. Total flux per unit area of the surface of the armature periphery, that is average flux density in iron parts of the machine. Number 2, magnetizing current. And number 3, core losses. Specific magnetic loading B average is equal to flux per pole divided by area under a pole is equal to flux per pole divided by pole pitch into armature length. As the pole pitch is equal to pi d by P, therefore B average is equal to phi by pi dl by P, that is phi P divided by pi dl, where d is the diameter of the stator core, capital P is the number of poles, and phi P is the total magnetic loading. So B average is equal to total magnetic loading divided by pi dl. Total magnetic loading is total flux passes through the air gap available at the area of cross section of the armature periphery. The stator core with open or semi-enclosed slots, the flux is only be confined to the width of the slot teeth. As the maximum flux flows through the slot teeth, then maximum flux density in the iron parts of the machine, that is B maximum, is equal to phi by A, where A is the area of cross section of the magnetic path. If A is constant, then Bm is directly proportional to phi. From equation 1, B average is equal to phi P by pi dl. If P, pi dl are constant, then B average is directly proportional to phi. Therefore, from equation 3 and 4, we can easily conclude that Bm is directly proportional to B average. Maximum flux density in the iron parts of the machine is directly proportional to specific magnetic loading. Hence, value of specific magnetic loading, that is average value of flux density available at the area of armature surface, should be considered in such a way that the maximum flux density in iron parts never be exceeded its limiting value, which lies between 1.7 to 2.2 Weber per meter square. Number 2, magnetizing current. For higher value of specific magnetic loading, then higher will be the armature MMF, that is magnetomotive force. And obviously, magnetizing current will also be increased. In three-phase machines, with the increase of magnetizing current, then machine will operate with lower power factor, resulting deep in efficiency. Number 3, iron loss. Hysteresis loss and eddy current loss in combination is iron loss of the components that conduct flux. Hysteresis loss is directly proportional to Bm to the power 1.6, and eddy current loss We is directly proportional to Bm square. From equation 5, Bm is directly proportional to B average. So Bm will increase with the increase of B average, resulting increase of hysteresis loss and eddy current loss. Both of these losses would have been increased with increasing flux density in the stator core and slot teeth zone. Both of these losses would have been increased with increasing flux density in the stator core and slot teeth zone. So, high value of air gap flux density would lead to have a higher value of flux in the iron parts of the machine, which evolves in significant increase of iron losses and lowering in efficiency. It is evident that the iron loss has a direct relation with the choice of specific magnetic loading. Machine performance is directly influenced by the value of specific magnetic loading. First, we consider working voltage. Normally, the thickness of the conductor insulation is to be decided based on the voltage rating of the machine. Higher conductor insulation thickness has to be provided for designing the higher voltage rating machines, resulting more space within the slot will be occupied by the insulation itself. In salient pole generators, internal diameter is quite large, and hence the flux density along the depth of the tooth does not vary appreciably. But as the width of the slot teeth has become smaller, so there would have been higher flux density both in teeth and core. Number 2, transient short circuit current. A high value of air gap flux density results in decrease in leakage reactance, and hence the armature current will be increased under short circuit conditions. Stability. Maximum power output of a machine under steady state condition is indirectly proportional to synchronous reactance. If higher value of flux density is used, that leads to smaller number of turns per phase in armature winding. This results in reduced value of leakage reactance and hence increased value of power with achieving better steady state stability. Parallel operation. The satisfactory parallel operation of synchronous generators depends on the synchronizing power. Higher the synchronizing power, higher will be the ability of the machine to operate in synchronism. The synchronizing power is inversely proportional to the synchronous reactance. Hence, the machine designed with higher value of air gap flux density will have better ability to operate in parallel with other machines. Choice of higher value of specific electric loading Q. Specific electric loading is equal to total electric loading at the stator armature divided by armature periphery at the air gap. That is IZ divided by pi d, where I is the current in one armature conductor, Z is the total number of armature conductors. Performance of the machine has been influenced by the underneath factors. 1. Copper loss. Higher the value of Q, larger will be the number of armature conductor per slot, which results in greater amount of armature copper for each slot. This will lead to higher copper loss, that is higher temperature rise and reduction in efficiency. Higher the value of Q means machine has to withstand high temperature rise and for which higher grade class of insulation is to be provided. If machine is designed with lower value of current density, then higher value of Q can be used. Voltage. A higher value of Q can only be used for lower voltage machines since less space is required for the insulation within the slot. In large size machine, larger will be the slot depth and obviously there is a large space for the required winding with higher class of insulation to accommodate high flow of current. In that case, high value of Q can be used. Synchronous reactance. High value of Q leads to higher value of leakage reactance and armature reaction and hence higher value of synchronous reactance. Such machines will have poor voltage regulation, lower value of current under short circuit condition and poor steady state stability limit and small value of synchronizing power. Stray load losses. With higher value of Q, stray load losses will be increased. Values of specific magnetic and specific electric loading can be selected from design data handbook for salient pole and non-salient pole machines. Inner diameter D and gross length L of the stator. From the output equation, Q is equal to output coefficient C0 d square L ns kVA when d square L is equal to Q by C0 small ns meter cube. In case of salient pole machines, the diameter D of the machine will be quite larger than the axial length of the stator core and the pole construction is either round or rectangular in shape. However, for salient pole machines, the length of air gap is not constant over the whole pole pitch. In case of round poles, the pole arc may be taken as approximately equal to axial length of the stator core. Ratio of pole arc to pole pitch may be assumed varying between 0.6 to 0.7. Hence, pole arc by pole pitch is equal to axial length of the stator core divided by pole pitch, that is L by tau p is equal to 0.6 to 0.7. Axial length of the stator core is 0.6 to 0.7 times of the pole pitch. In case of rectangular poles, the ratio of pole arc to pole pitch may be assumed varying between 0.8 to 3 and the value may be assumed based on design specifications. Axial length of the stator core is 0.8 to 3 times of the pole pitch as per design specifications. So, for the same KVA rating of the machine, axial length of the stator core will be much higher, while rotor is configured with rectangular poles rather than the round pole configuration. Short circuit ratio. Short circuit ratio is defined as the ratio of the field current required to generate the rated voltage under open circuit condition to the field current required for rated armature current under three-phase short circuit condition. That is, short circuit ratio SCR is equal to field current required for open circuit voltage and field current divided by field current required for rated stator current on short circuit. SCR is the most significant parameter in designing synchronous machines, which has an impact on the operating characteristics, physical size of the machine, and cost of the machines. SCR can be obtained through open circuit characteristics and short circuit characteristics, that is OCC and SCC. Typical value of SCR. It lies between 0.5 to 0.6 for turbo generators, that is non-salient port generators. It lies between 1 to 1.5 for hydro generators or salient pole generators. It lies between 0.4 to 0.5 for synchronous condenser. A higher short circuit ratio will give a lower synchronous impedance. High short circuit currents and a lower short circuit ratio will inversely affect the voltage regulation and stability of the machine. From the diagram, short circuit ratio is equal to IF for rated OC voltage, open circuit voltage, and IF for rated short circuit current. That is from the diagram OA by OD. But triangle OAB and triangle ODE are similar triangles. So OA by OD is equal to AB by DE. Then from equation SCR is equal to AB by D. Direct axis reactance XD of synchronous machine is defined as the ratio of open circuit voltage for a given field current to the armature short circuit current for a given field current. Here, direct axis reactance XD for field current OA is XD is equal to AC by AB. The per unit value of direct axis reactance XD is obtained by dividing it by the base impedance. Per unit value of XD is equal to AC by AB divided by base impedance, where base impedance is equal to per phase rated voltage divided by per phase rated armature current, V rate by IA rate. From open circuit and short circuit characteristics, V rated is equal to AC volt and IA rated is DE ampere. Therefore, base impedance is equal to AC by DE. Per unit value of XD is equal to AC by AB into 1 by base impedance is equal to AC by AB into DE by AC, that is DE by AB. From equation 2, XD in per unit value is equal to 1 by SCR, or SCR is equal to 1 by XD in per unit. Thus, short circuit ratio is equal to the reciprocal of per unit value of direct axis synchronous reactance. The more value of XD, the lesser will be the short circuit ratio. Effect of SCR on machine performance. Voltage regulation. High value of synchronous reactance will have poor voltage regulation as it leads to higher value of leakage reactance and armature reaction. Number 2, stability. The maximum power output of a machine under steady state condition is indirectly proportional to synchronous reactance. Very important. The maximum power output of a machine under steady state condition is indirectly proportional to synchronous reactance. If higher value of flux density is imposed, that would lead to smaller number of turns per phase in armature winding. This results in reduced value of leakage reactance, resulting in increased value of power and hence increased steady state stability of the machine. Parallel operation of the machines. The satisfactory parallel operation of synchronous generators depends on the synchronizing power. Higher the synchronizing power, higher will be the ability of the machine to operate in synchronism. The synchronizing power is inversely proportional to the synchronous reactance, and hence the machines which are designed with higher value of air gap flux density will have better ability to operate in parallel with other machines. Short circuit current. Machines with higher value of synchronous reactance will have lower value of current under short circuit condition. Cost and size of the machine, it will be explained in later slide. Concept of load angle. The concept is very much linked with the significance of the value of short circuit ratio. In case of synchronous generator, the magnetic field has to rotate at synchronous speed, and for which a rotating magnetic field is evolved in the stator armature, and these two fields are not fully aligned. The stator magnetic field is always lagging the rotating magnetic field, and this lagging when expressed in angle is called load angle. In other way, load angle can also be defined or explained as the angle between field MMF or flux and resultant air gap magnetomotive force or flux. Basically, three different types of flux are being developed in any of the rotating electrical machines. 1, stator flux; 2, rotor flux; and 3, resultant air gap flux, which has to evolve through a combined action of stator as well as rotor flux. Rotor field generated flux is being affected as due to have an armature reaction of the synchronous machine. Load angle can also be represented through the angle between the no load excitation voltage EF and terminal voltage VT. Under no load condition, the electromotive force will be induced in the stator armature winding only because of the field flux or rotor flux phi F. This EMF will lag by 90 degree with the field flux. Points to be noted that It is to be understood that the generated electromotive force always lags by 90 degrees of the flux that generates it. As electromotive force is induced by the field flux, hence it lags the field flux by 90 degrees. Voltage across the armature terminal is thereby induced due to the resultant air gap flux. Thus, terminal voltage Vt will be 90 degrees lagged behind the resultant air gap flux phi r. Thus, the angle between EF and Vt will be as same as the angle between the field flux and resultant air gap flux. The relation between the EF, Vt, phi f and phi r is being represented through a phasor diagram. Note, this angle, that is this load angle, plays an important role for the stability of the generator. If the angle goes beyond 90 degrees, the generator becomes unstable. This may happen when sudden large variation of load occurs or fault sustains longer time. See the phasor diagram. Ia is the stator or armature current, Fa is the stator MMF in phase with Ia, excess synchronous reactance, Ra is stator armature resistance, delta is the load angle. Implication of load angle. Load angle is the angle between field flux and the resultant air gap flux, which means the field poles or flux of the generator will be dragged ahead of the stator pole or flux. So, higher electromagnetic torque will have to be evolved for attaining the higher load angle of the machine. Since this electromagnetic torque opposes the prime mover torque, then for balancing the requisite phenomena, there would have been made to provide much more mechanical power input to the synchronous generator through prime mover. As soon as the electromagnetic torque of the machine balances the prime mover torque, the mechanical input will then be converted to electrical output. It is very important to note. Thus, increasing the load angle increases the power output. The power output of a synchronous generator is given as P bar is equal to EF Vt sine delta divided by XS. So power output would have been increased with the increase of load angle, while the field excitation and generator terminal voltage are to be kept constant. Maximum power output when delta is at 90 degree, sine delta is 1. But the load angle delta beyond 90 degree, then the output will dip below its maximum output. In this situation, since the electrical output of generator has decreased, while the mechanical input through prime mover is still more, then the generator will lose synchronism, that is, going out of step. Thus, the steady state stability is affected by the load angle. Let's stop here. Further to be continued at later stage. Thank you. Thank you for listening the video. Kindly do like, share and subscribe. Your subscriptions would encourage to post more videos. Also, Share your comments or feedbacks inside the dedicated comment section. If you have any suggestions or specific topic you want, then let me know in the comment section. Thank you. Thank you very much.